Welcome to Takeology with your two boys in the lab so you can do the cooking. We are here with the one and only Matt McDonald. How are you?
Dude, I'm on top of the world. Chiefs won, Chargers lost, freaking Raiders lost, Lamar's hurt. What couldn't be better for us right now? The whole year has turned around for the Chiefs.
They're Super Bowl bound, I guess, now, huh?
I mean, everybody said we had a terrible offense. We come in there, score 37 points. I think people underestimated what Patrick is when he has wide receiver ones in this offense. And we don't even have our best back yet. We have Rice back in 2 weeks. If we scored 37 without him, what are we going to score with him? It's going to be wild.
Just 40. One more field goal. That's it. That's all you can do.
Hey, I'd be
Man,
happy. I'd be happy with 40, dude.
that wouldn't be bad. No, it was a crazy week in general, but for sure the Chiefs are looking spicy. The defense looked a lot better. At least it's not like the Hogs defense, So big
Okay,
difference. Big
you
difference.
just had to knock me down again, huh?
My bad. My bad. Well, Georgia
Yeah,
did
dude,
lose to Bama.
I think I remember Georgia losing as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it
Our
was. Yeah,
defense is Swiss cheese, bro.
we played two. I mean, you guys played a good team too. So,
We just
at least
uh,
yours was respectable. Ours was like 56-13, I think.
yeah. R.I.P. to Sam Pittman.
Yeah,
R.I.P. to
he's
Sam.
a good guy. He really brought our program out of just the deep dark pits of the bottom of the SEC.
Yeah.
We were terrible before he got there. I know you like him; he's a Georgia guy. Um, he did a lot of good for us, but I think it was a time for a change.
On to the next to bigger things. Since we're early in the show, I wanted to throw this out there. Please give us a like and a subscribe on YouTube. You can find us at Takeology. I don't say there's enough, and we're also on Spotify. So yeah, every Tuesdays, most of the time at 9, we're going live. We'd love to have you, even on the live show, throwing in chats and questions and concerns, and we'll answer them on the spot when we get them. But I wanted to throw that in the front end. Most of the time, we throw it in the back end and forget about that. But we're going to go ahead and get it rolling with our lab report. We've got a lot to talk about today in terms of injuries, in terms of just a lot of waiver wire ads, everything. Got a bye coming up, so gonna have to be thinking about that as a team as well. But two names on this list, and we can probably talk about this for a good bit too. But number one, Tyreek Hill, definitely out for the season. Man tore his ACL and a lot of other things in his knee. I mean, the whole leg's destroyed pretty much.
Yeah,
You hate to see it.
he's in rough shape,
It's pretty bad. But next up behind him, obviously Jalen Waddle, right? But how about Mr. Darren Waller?
dude. 2 touchdowns in his first game back. That's I think he had a 28% target share, which I know Tyreek went out, but for your first game back, having a 28% target share is pretty wild.
So he's definitely a guy to look at. And I believe Malik Washington is also another one of those receivers. Really, to be honest with you, I feel like there's nobody else on that team. I don't know if that's just me, but it's like the Dolphins are just not. They're not it. I'll be real.
No, you're right. I really expected Jalen Waddle to kind of have a bigger game with Tyreek leaving like that, and then he only ended up having 3 catches on 6 targets. So hopefully
Terrible.
that improves with Tyreek leaving. But yeah, you're right. Washington, I think, will be a good pickup. If nothing else, it's good to see what you have there. Um, you can't ever take enough risk when it comes to these waivers pickups, even if it's just you don't have to spend fab. It's just you picking them up. I think it's definitely worth just seeing what he looks like next week.
Exactly. If I wouldn't, he wouldn't be top priority. I'll be real, but definitely a guy out there to look for,
Not with a guy like Woody Marks out here, dude.
dude. I don't. We'll get there. Pump the. I know. Soft spot.
I am hyped for Woody.
Jeez, that man popped off.
He went 27 points,
Yeah.
dude.
R.I.P. Nick Chubb. R.I.P. Nick Chubb. But
Yeah, he's cooked.
because Joe Mixon might not even come back for the rest of the year.
No, yeah, that was kind of a big thing. This was the week where the players that were on IR to start the season could start their 21 day window to come back. And basically, the coach said he's not ready now, and he may not be ready the whole season. So that's definitely tough. I would still keep him on your IR spot if you have one in your league, but if he's taking up a bench spot for you, I would drop him and move on
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
there's too many players on this waiver wire to just sit for all year just waiting for him to come back.
100% agree with that. Another guy, I don't even want to say this because it sickens me. But Malik Neighbors tearing his ACL, man. What can you do? But next up for sure, I mean, number one, Jackson Dart looked good. First game looked all right, at least in terms of that boy might get a concussion here soon, the way he's running it and not sliding. But Wandale Robinson and it's Darius Slayton, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
And Theo Johnson, even. A lot of guys going to get some targets. So,
Yeah, Dart. He had. I mean, it's a successful game. He won the
yeah.
game first start, and it's against a quality team. The
Yeah.
Chargers did lose Joe Alt at left tackle, and they had already lost Rashawn Slater. So I am slightly worried about them just as an overall team. If Herbert's going to be pressured like he was this past game, now the Giants have a good D line, but if he's going to be pressured like this, you saw their offensive struggles, which we haven't really seen so far this season. So that's definitely a little concerning when it comes to the Chargers offensive players. But as far as Dart goes, he didn't throw it a ton. I think he only threw it 17 times,
20.
um, 20
Yeah.
times, but he ran the ball 10 times, which is that's huge for fantasy quarterbacks.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I would definitely keep your eye on him. If you're struggling at quarterback, he's worth maybe picking up just to see how he performs here.
Go pick that boy up. While we're here, I know we're doing the lab report, but we might as well talk about some of the. I think this is a game that was kind of important to talk about. Number one, a highlight of rookie running backs are huge this year. I'm talking what a class that came in, regardless. But Ashton Jenney popped off. I mean, huge game. What 3 touchdowns total, or is it 4?
Yeah, 3.
Just a massive game. Yeah, 138 yards and 2 through the air, which is kind of I didn't expect that at all. So kind of had to eat my words there on the at the moment Cam Scatabo, but we'll see. We'll see.
I
Uh,
told I told you to lay off.
I'm still riding with my boy Cam though because he still also had a good game against the Chargers. Relatively, I mean, if he's getting 25 carries,
Yeah, Cam's a good player. It's just it's hard when you're comparing him to the sixth overall pick in the draft. That was a that was a tough comparison.
gotta shoot them shots. You know what I mean?
I don't
Uh,
blame you.
but I wanted to ask you something because number one, I feel like this is crazy that I even have to say this. Quentin Johnson. Okay,
Dog.
actually, let me just give you some stats here. All right, uh, top 5 receivers and receiving yards. Who would you think they are as of right now?
Top 5.
Top 5.
Um,
How you feeling?
I'm assuming Quentin Johnson's there.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm assuming Puka's there.
yeah.
Maybe Garrett Wilson. He's had a pretty good year.
No,
No. Uh, Possibly Devontae.
no,
No. Okay. I know Jamar's not there because I have him and
nope.
he's
No,
he's
he's not.
beauty. Shoot. I'm
Let me
sure it's
give.
some no names that I'm not expecting.
All right, we got Puka Nakua at the top. Dude's been a dog, right?
Yeah.
JSN right following after.
Oh, dude, that's my boy. I don't know why I
Should have
didn't
known
say
that.
that. Yeah.
Quentin Johnson, Ricky Pearsall, okay, and Jay Jettis, which I didn't expect him to be up there, but those are our top 5 in terms of receiving yards. So we've obviously seen on the Chargers Keenan Allen pop off, right? Keenan Allen's done pretty decent in terms of getting the end zone targets. But my true question is here: we had a bust, and not somebody I'm expecting. Lad McConkey, 6 targets, 1 catch for 11 yards. In the other games, he hasn't looked good. He's receiver 51 in PPR. He's been 25, 47, 46, 99. Do you need to hit the panic button and trade this guy away?
It
Or
depends
trade
on
for
what
him?
uh, I would definitely not trade for him. And
Okay.
I don't think it's a question of his talent because we obviously seen him last year. He was a
Yeah.
stud, but he also was all they had last year. Quentin Johnson was still struggling with the drops, and besides him, they really didn't have much. It's tough because Keenan Allen has filled the role that Ladd had last year, and then Quentin Johnson is their downfield target, and then they're going to be running the ball a lot more with Amari Hampton playing as good as he did last week. So I would be. It depends on what league you're in. If it's a redraft, I would try to trade him because I think his name value is going to be enough to where you can kind of get something from him. Dynasty wise, though, I would probably hold on to him. You're going to have Keenan Allen at most has this year and next, maybe. And then him and Quentin Johnson, I think that would be a pretty good duo. I don't think Quentin Johnson would take away the targets that Ladd kind of vies for over the middle of the field, moving the chains. But as far as this season goes, he has not been used in the red zone at all. That's Keenan and Quentin or the running backs.
Yeah.
And basically all we've seen him do is move the sticks when they're driving down the field. So I would definitely be at least talking to my league mates, maybe trying to see what I could get back for him because this start of the season has been troubling. And like I was saying, if they're going to miss Joe Alt here coming up and that offensive line struggles, I mean, they've already had to shuffle the line around a ton. And
Yeah.
if Justin Herbert's going to be pressured that much, I would be a little worried about this offense just as a whole. I still think they're going to be decent, but if he's not got time to throw, he's going to be rushing the ball a lot more. And I don't know if there's going to be enough to go around to feed all three of these wide receivers.
Yeah. You may honestly sell Quentin Johnson high. While the iron's hot, if you can get somebody out of it, I mean, it depends on your team, but if you need a running back, sell that man high. You got plenty of receivers. Why not? Take some risks, you know?
It definitely depends on the situation you're in. Most people that have him most likely just picked him up off the waiver wire. So you might be sitting pretty as far as wide receivers go. But if you're sitting there with A.J. Brown, if you're sitting there with Ladd McConkey, and maybe Mike Evans even with the injury,
Yeah.
or Higgins has been unplayable.
Yeah.
So it really depends on your team situation. But if you can trade him and get a top five guy, because that's what Quentin is right now. So I don't know if you'd really want to trade him, but if you're deep at the position, you might see what you could get back for him because I think it's going to surprise you with how good of players you can get back.
Yeah. 100% agree with that. Another guy on the injury list, not necessarily too big, but it kind of has some implication. Braylon Allen with an MCL tear, the backup on the Jets. That means more work for Brees Hall. So this is a guy that's gonna, I think, even look better in the weeks to come, just because he's gonna have more workload. And with Justin Fields, he's gonna get some more run time too. I think with that as well, because Braylon Allen took quite a bit of snap percentage from Brees Hall, but he looked good this last week. And then I know this is another like low end, but Cedric Tillman headed to IR. I mean, the Browns it's the Browns.
Yeah,
But
they're dookie. Joe Flacco does not look like the same player he was when he led them to the playoffs. Now,
no,
I will say this is probably good for Njoku. He's been pretty disappointing with having Tillman exiting out of this offense for a little while. I think that might help him because everybody that's drafted him has been very disappointed. They're basically him and Harold Fannin are splitting the tight end targets. If
yeah.
you combine the two, it'd be a very good tight end. But them splitting it like they are, that makes it tough to start either one.
A positive though on the Brown side, Quinshon Judkins is looking pretty solid.
Dude, I am kicking myself. He was one of those. He was the last pick in the draft for me. I picked him up. I know he's going through all the legal battles. He hadn't been signed by the Browns yet. I got nervous right before the season starts, and I picked up. Now I will say I picked up Quentin Johnson, so it worked
Okay.
well for me.
Okay.
But I always like to have depth at running back just because it's such an injury prone position. But
Yeah.
man, he looks good. He looks like he's second in line behind Genty as far as the rookie running backs go.
Cam would be first, but I understand what you're saying. I get it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Judkins looking like a beast.
Him and Hampton. Honestly, just this year's class of running backs. Caleb
Yeah,
Johnson, you can throw him in there. No,
and it really is nice to see because they started off slow. If you
yeah,
picked RJ Harvey, you've been disappointed. Ashton Genty has been disappointing so far this I mean,
yeah.
their offensive line is terrible. It's close to as bad as Bengals, but it's not that bad, but goodness gracious, he's getting hit behind the line of scrimmage every stinking play. But I don't know if you noticed this past game, he went back to his Michael Myers stand
Yep.
where like he did at Boise State. And I don't know if that's what changed it all for him, but if it is, he needs to do that every week. Because good
Yeah.
Lord, he was shedding tackles like nobody's business.
He needs to go back to it immediately if it's that kind of production. Only when he's not playing me in fantasy that week, he can. Man, I squeaked through with the dub, barely, but he still popped
Barely.
off.
What was it? 2 points?
It was like no, it was 7, but still, dude. Because Malik Neighbors only got 4, but it is what it is. Yeah, even RJ Harvey had a 19 point, pretty much a 20 fantasy point game PPR. So rookie running backs, man. Even Igbuka, whatever, uh, popped up. I mean, he's been so good. So great rookie class. But last but not least, I'll let you share this one because it holds a sweet spot in your heart from this last week. You're probably smiling with joy that this actually happened.
You
So,
referring to Lamar?
Mr. Lamar Jackson.
You know, I never like to see players get hurt. Okay, I'll lead off with that. But the disrespect that was thrown at the Kansas City Chiefs, acting like the dynasty's over, like Patrick Mahomes isn't the best quarterback in the league. He goes out there and just lights them up. And all it took was us to get Xavier Worthy back, and we look like the offensive old for the Chiefs. No, I'm not saying we're going to drop 37 points every week. Their defense was just it was rattled with injuries.
Bad.
I think they had at the end of the game they had 9 starters out on their defense, which is just it's honestly their athletic trainers need to be fired or something needs to go on. But good lord, but it was nice to see as a Chiefs fan. We've been watching us squeak out games for what seems like the past 2 years, and hearing everybody say we're not as good as our record, this and that. But man, it was good just to see Patrick look like Patrick again. And the only thing is our stinking running backs. We don't have anybody there.
No.
And the Braylon Allen injury, honestly, it makes me sad because I was hoping we would trade for Brees Hall, but there's no way they're going to trade him now with him being their only guy there. So,
Right.
and then Najee Harris is hurt as well. All these backups are getting hurt, which is tough.
Woody Marks.
Yeah, yeah,
No.
but I mean Nick Chubb's basically hurt, so they're not going to trade him.
Right. Right. No. Speaking of Pacheco, I am so glad I hopped off that train when I did. Uh,
Yeah, you got lucky.
he had a good year, but after this injury, sometimes injuries, man, they just change a player and how they play, and he just hasn't looked good at all. So hopefully, in terms of like if you're a Chiefs fan, that turns around. But uh, it is what it is. You got any more injuries on there that I missed out on?
I'll just put in a few. Jaden Daniels is expected to be back this next week, which is huge for that team. They have definitely not been as electric without him on the field. Jalen Warren, he was kind of a surprising inactive we had last week, especially with it being an overseas game. That was really tough for players that you expected him to play. And if you're on the West Coast, you had to get up at like 7:30 to even know that he was inactive. So that was tough. But he's
Yeah.
supposed to be back after their bye. Ricky Pearsall, he re-injured that knee, so we'll just have to kind of wait and see. He should be okay. He's been kind of struggling with it all year, but he didn't return to the game, so that's definitely something that you want to watch. And then CD Lamb, he's dealing with that high ankle sprain, so this will be his second game he's missed after this next week. It's usually 3 to 4 games, so hopefully we'll have him back after that little span. But the Cowboys offense surprised the heck out of me, putting up
Man,
40 points on that Packers defense. That
yeah,
was pretty impressive.
we'll highlight that game right after this because honestly, there's a lot to talk about. But Last little injury that we'll throw out for the lab report before we jump in. Josh Jacobs kind of got banged up. I don't think he came back to the game, did he?
He was coming. It was kind of weird. He was in and out of the game the whole time. It looked like he dealt with it all game. So it's definitely something to watch. Their backup there is Emmanuel Wilson. From what I've seen, it seems like he's going to play next game, Jacobs. But it's definitely something you want to keep an eye on because you don't want to get surprised and then not have a backup option.
Right. No, 100%. But, dude, Josh Jacobs popped off again. Javonte Williams even looked good. I mean, but I think the biggest thing from this game that surprised me, not just was it the Dallas Cowboys offense, but Romeo Dobbs and George Pickens. These guys just, I mean, I think honestly, anybody that plays the Cowboys, they're going to be huge because this defense is atrocious. It's
Yeah,
just bomb after bomb.
it's kind of like playing the Ravens. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like to disrespect. They're a good team, but just with the injuries they're dealing with right now, everybody that's played the Ravens has just lit them up. So it's, I mean, even the Browns scored 20 points on them. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a target that you want to do for fantasy as well as the Cowboys defense because it is terrible. And I think the Packers is it's something to watch. They lost to the Browns, which we all were surprised by, and then they tied this game to the Cowboys, which the Cowboys were very motivated. Micah coming to town, so this could be kind of a one-off for them. But I don't think any of us were expecting the Cowboys to keep pace with the Packers, especially with how that game started. I think it
Right.
was 13-0 pretty early into that game.
It's kind of sad. I was hoping one of them would win just so they could say they were on top, but they had a
It was
draw.
that was a wild game. I stayed up to watch that freaking thing, and then it ends in a tie.
How awful! I feel like that should never be a thing.
Mm-mm.
Me personally, just like why have a tie? Like, what does it do for anybody? I don't know. Maybe they just get tired of talking about it. I don't know what to tell you. Get tired of broadcasting it. No, that was a big game. Kind of crazy to me. Obviously, George Pickens. If CD's out, man, start him. Even the tight end still looked good. Jake Ferguson looked kind of more of what we've seen him in the past. Whereas Tucker Craft, he's getting the targets. But this offense is going to look completely different. Christian Wilson and Jaden Reed both are still out, and I think they're going to come back this season. I
Yeah,
think it was like an off-season injury and surgery that they could
Christian
come back.
Watson is Christian
Oh, Christian
Watson
Watson.
is coming back.
Yeah.
But the Reed one, it's going to be like close to playoffs that he comes back. So I don't think he's going to offer us much value. I think he broke his collarbone, so that's going to be kind of a longer one to come back from. But the thing with the Packers offense is you just never really know which receiver it's going to be on a game to game basis. A lot of the fantasy community thought that this might be a breakout game for Matthew Golden. He had an okay game, but it took overtime to get 5 catches for 58 yards, and that's not what we were expecting or hoping for. Uh, but as far as their other receivers go, you got Romeo Dobbs, Tucker Craft. Tucker Craft went down on the 1 yard line twice. They have
Yeah.
Dontavian Wicks and even Malik Heath over there is pretty good. It's
Yeah.
just it's tough to predict which one of those receivers is going to go off on a game to game basis. If I had to make a choice, it would be Dobbs because he's shown us it in the past. But it's going to be kind of tough to choose which one of those guys to start every week.
That is true. Especially, but Dobbs with the 3 touchdowns was wow. Just I wouldn't expect that for sure.
I don't
Uh,
think anyone was expecting 3 touchdowns, but
no,
I mean it was the Cowboys defense, so you gotta take it with a grain of salt.
throw that ball, son. Uh, Another thing that kind of was a surprising, maybe somewhat surprising. Jordan Addison came back, 114 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Huge game coming back. Carson Wentz looks pretty good. But in this same game, Steelers pulled through against the Vikings. A few things here. Jordan Mason made me so mad. Really, maybe it's the Vikings organization. Who in the world is Xavier Scott? Who does this dude think he is? That he's going to get a touchdown and take it away from Jordan Mason? Like, where'd this guy come from?
He has 2 carries for 1 yard and a touchdown. Yeah, that's tough.
It was 6 for 8. He was involved in the passing game, so it's like it is what it is because Jordan Mason doesn't do as well. But it's like, bro, who cares? Just let Jordan Mason do the work.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I see. Yeah, dang, 8 targets, six
yeah,
receptions.
yeah, it kind of sucked.
It looks
Uh,
like he's much more of a receiving back than a rushing. Uh,
yeah, which is something to
Only
keep your eye on.
2 carries for 1 yard.
Yeah, not very good. But it's just frustrating as a Jordan Mason, someone who has him. It's like, man, who even is this guy? Like, where'd this
Yeah,
guy?
I was watching that game. He's an undrafted rookie that they have. it it seems like he's just kind of there to spell Jordan Mason when he's doing these long drives. So I wouldn't worry about it big picture, but it definitely is. Jordan Mason just doesn't catch balls. It's not the type of player he is. He's just a rushing guy. So that definitely lowers his ceiling when it comes to fantasy, but I wouldn't be concerned at all with Jordan Mason. He looks great this year.
He does, and he's got the lead back, which is kind of nice to see. Another piece of this that was interesting, Mr. DK Metcalf. He leads the NFL in yards after catch with 199 yards. This
Dude,
man might be a sneaky pickup or a sneaky trade, buy low. You know, maybe not after
yeah,
this game.
he was definitely kind of concerning coming into this game. He hadn't had any huge numbers, but the 80-yard touchdown catch it definitely helped him when it comes to receiving yard or yards after the catch. So if him and Rogers can kind of keep building this connection the two of them have, with him being the only like high threat receiver on this offense, he could definitely turn dividends for the rest of the season. It it's worth a shot at least on seeing what your league mates want for him. Um, though, like I said, if we could have traded for him last week, it would have been much better than after this big week. But
Right.
sometimes in fantasy, you have to pay up for these players, and I wouldn't be scared to do that if you have confidence in them for the rest of the season or any other player for that matter. Just put your money where your mouth is and go trade for him because a lot of times, no matter what you give up, like if you were to traded for Christian McCaffrey on his big year when he's not hurt, he'll win you a league. So
Yeah.
there's no shame in offering a little bit more, even if it might look bad after you first offer it. When they score all those points throughout the whole season, you're not gonna feel for the 2 players you gave up.
No. I mean, I'm kind of feeling that side. Them in the dynasty league, I traded last year for CMC, kind of right after he got off his injury with a risk he gets injured again, and he's balling this year. And so it's just something you got to take a risk, and sometimes you got to get him while they're low or high. But I definitely think DK Metcalf going forward is going to continue to look good. Aaron Rodgers, don't like him, but he's played decent, and so and DK Metcalf is the guy. So
He's played good enough. That's about what
yeah,
I'll say. He's
yeah,
playing good enough to support DK, and that's all that really matters.
exactly. So I mean, he's a
Still
guy.
don't like the guy.
I know he's a bum, but it is what it is. He's an NFL quarterback, so I can't complain there, I guess. But Kenneth Gainwell with Jalen Warren out, he should be back, right? So we don't want to overreact. But Kenneth Gainwell is definitely a great anchor running back to pick up, to stash on the bench where if Jalen Warren is injured again. The man had 31.4 fantasy points in PPR, 2 touchdowns on the ground, 6 for 6, 35 yards with 19 carries. Sad that Caleb Johnson's not kind of coming up, but Aaron Rodgers can't stand the guy. So is what it is.
Yeah, that's a tough situation for him, and for just everybody that drafted him this year because we kind of all had high hopes for him. But that's just the player that Aaron Rodgers is. If he doesn't like you, you're not going to be on the field, and that's
Exactly.
just kind of the spot we're in right now.
I did also. We're gonna switch games here. Bills Saints. Bills pull through 31-19. Obviously, the Bills are gonna continue to do what they're doing. James Cook is a dog this year, he's only gotten better over the years. But Alvin Kamara Is it time to panic? Is it time to get rid of this guy before it gets bad? Uh, because number one, the team has not looked good. Alvin Kamara's had two kind of average weeks, but Keandre Miller, 11 carries, 65 yards, and a touchdown. His usage has increased over the last few games, and so kind of I don't know, it kind of worries me. What do you think about this, Matt?
It's kind of a sticky situation. We've always thought Alvin Kamara's end is coming, and it just
Yeah,
never does. And he's so good in the receiving game that he kind of makes up for what he lacks in the rushing attack when it comes to his explosibility. Kendra Miller, he definitely looks like the more explosive back. He's younger, so I mean it's to be expected. We've got Kendra is a guy that we expected to take this leap the past 2 years, and he's just been injured. So if he can stay healthy, I think it would be in the Saints' favor to keep playing him and upping his snaps, and it looks like that's what they're planning on doing. But I wouldn't I wouldn't just fire sell Alvin Kamara. He still had 70 yards this game rushing, and he still had what was it, 4 or 5 targets.
yeah,
So
5 targets.
yeah, so I mean those targets didn't turn out to much this game, but you're playing the Bills, they're outmatched. So I don't know. He still got the 70 rushing yards. I wouldn't be super concerned. I think it's just going to be a little bit more of a split backfield than we expected.
I hate those. I hate split backfields, but the Lions, not this week, they didn't do it, but the Lions know how to use it, I guess. So
It's good to keep players healthy though.
right,
And
right,
Alvin Kamara is definitely one that you want to take precautions with his age.
just an old fossil. But
Now Chiefs, we will take him. Come on, trade for him. That would be massive for us.
yo, listen, I am not opposed to that in the slightest.
Dude, he can't I mean, he's not going to be super valuable as far as the trade market goes. I mean, he's an older back. He did just get a 2-year extension, but I don't think he's going to demand more than like a fourth or fifth round pick. So if I was Brett Veach, I would definitely be calling just to just see test the waters a little bit
I like
because
that, Matt.
anybody that's seen our backfield this year knows there is an issue there. So Xavier Worthy's first game back, he was our best rusher. It's embarrassing how bad our running backs are. Now, one thing I will mention, our rookie Brashard Smith, he's getting more snaps from a game to game. So
Really?
he looked pretty good in the passing game this week. He didn't get a ton of rushing attempts, but I would keep an eye on that as kind of a deeper stash because if he's going to keep getting his usage bumped up, we've obviously seen Pacheco just doesn't have it anymore. So he'd be a guy that I'd at least keep my eye on.
Yeah, for sure. Always promoting them Chiefs. I don't know. I wanted
It's
to throw this out.
worked out pretty good for me.
That's fair. No, the Chiefs have pulled through. I'm excited to see Rice come back. Not gonna lie. Week 6,
Me
here we
too.
come. I wanted to throw this out there real quick. It wasn't the greatest game. Patriots versus Panthers. Patriots.
Dude,
All I want.
Drake
Yeah,
May though.
this man was 14 for 17, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 carries, and a touchdown. How more efficient can you be?
Not much.
He missed 3 passes for 203 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's crazy. And so I'm hyped for this man. But I think the biggest thing, Stephon Diggs had his first 100 plus yard game since 2023. About time. About time we saw this man pull through.
Dude, honestly, I may just be good luck for these players. It happened with Cooper Cup. I said drop him. He played well the next game. Last week I said drop Stephon Diggs. Now he's got 100 receiving yards. So it's definitely something to keep your eye on. I know in a lot of leagues people are getting frustrated with him and may have
Yeah.
dropped him. Uh, I know I haven't talked highly of him, but with the situation of the waiver wire, if there's a player of his caliber out there, he's definitely worth adding just to see if this continues. Now, a guy I was really impressed with, and he's played well all year, is Hunter Henry. He didn't
Yeah.
have a ton of receiving yards, only had the 39, but this dude is getting in the end zone every single week. He's Drake May's just favorite red zone target. And I know a lot of people have struggled at tight end this year. He's a guy, if he's still out there, I know we've talked about him on a week to week, but he's definitely a priority add if you're struggling at tight end.
He's a top five. I think top three, to be honest
Yeah,
with
I
you.
mean, he's legit scored a touchdown every single week.
Let me see here. Yeah, number three tight end, right under Trey McBride, I believe. Uh, yeah, so just a dog. I mean, you can't not play him on a week to week basis. He only had 2 targets and still produced 11.9 fantasy points. And obviously, this was because of game script. They were whooping them, so why would they continue to pass? Drake May literally threw 17 passes for an entire game. So obviously, they're not going to get the ball out. But you do love to see Stephon Diggs pop off. So are we dropping A.J. Brown now, and next week he's going to play well? Or
No, no, we're not dropping AJ Brown. I will say a lot of the fantasy owners of AJ are very frustrated / concerned.
yeah,
Dude,
buy
that
low.
was a that I know we're gonna cover it, but that Eagles game was weird.
Yeah,
We can talk about it when we get there, but that second half, they started off so well. Like they came in there with a vengeance. They hadn't beat the Buccaneers in a while, and they started off just like it was the Super Bowl. And then the second half, the whole game flipped.
yeah. I don't know what's up with them. We're not going to cover this game. Jags versus 49ers. Travis Etienne, pop off year. My goodness. But do you drop Travis Hunter in a redraft league?
I've seen a lot of discussion about it. He does not look special by any means.
No.
It's tough. He in the second half he only played wide receiver snaps, which you should be happy about. But his utilization has just been. He got 5 targets, 3 catches for 42 yards. It's nothing that's going to be changing in the good for you on a week to week basis on the team. I really don't think you can play him. I would try to trade him just off name value. I think you could probably get something back. But as far as keeping him on your team, I would not be concerned. I would trade him immediately if you can. And if there's a guy like Woody Marks out there and you're struggling at running back, I would make that pickup and drop Hunter.
Crazy. Dynasty's a little different. I feel like, I mean, not too much. If you can trade him, I would do it. I've got him on mine. I've thought about it. I haven't tried, but it's just tough. If he's playing both sides, unless you have individual defense position, like it's kind of hard to put him in right now because he just hasn't done anything at all. And it's
No,
not like the Jags are a good team necessarily.
he's unplayable. That's simple as that. And they spread the ball around a ton on the Jaguars. If you have Brian Thomas, you've been disappointed with him. It's not that he's not getting the targets. It's just him and Lawrence haven't been connecting. I think Brian Thomas might have the yips as far as dropping balls.
Man,
He's had a tough year. Now this game was better. He had 7 targets for 5 catches. Brenton Strange, if you're struggling at tight end, he's a guy that you could spot start. He's been
yeah,
okay. Um, Other than that, the options on this team, I think we're pretty disappointed in Tootin this game. ETN kind of widened the gap. He looked good this game. I think we expected it to be a more 50-50, and that is not what it looked like this game.
ATN is man. Last year he didn't do well, but this year he's doing great. I don't know what the change up was or what he needed, but
Liam
there he
Cohen,
is.
man, he did wonders for Bucky Irving and the Buccaneers. So I think
Bucky Irvin.
he
Sorry,
went
go.
off.
Bucky
Bucky
Irvin
Irving, yeah.
did have an injury designation. I did forget
Oh
about that.
yeah, yeah. We did forget about that. What was it? Was it the knee?
Yeah, they were going to get a doctor to look at it to make sure he's good, but there's not been a report yet. So something to be looking out. Rashad White, maybe.
Yeah, Rashad White's a big one. I mean, we've seen him when he's the lone back in that offense. He's not amazing as far as the rushing attack goes, but he's such a talented receiving back that I would put him second to Woody Marks, and then that's how I would go 1-2 Woody, and then Rashad, and even Sean Tucker, because
Yeah.
Rashad
Yeah.
White's not necessarily a good rushing back. So Sean Tucker, he could come in and do the rushing snaps, and then Rashad White could be the receiving back. So they're two. I would if Irving's out, I would definitely keep an eye on them.
His status is uncertain for Week 5 with an ankle/foot injury, so that's huge. I mean, he could be out, and hopefully it's not bad. We hope for the best for him. But even Chris Godwin, I believe, also no, he's good at the
No,
moment.
Chris, this was Chris's first game back.
10 targets, 3 catches. He'll be fine.
It was good to see him back. He's definitely a guy that a lot of people drafted him and put him on their IR spots. It's good to see him back.
Yeah, so that is nice. We might as well talk about this game while we're here. The Eagles, other than Saquon, they suck fantasy wise. I mean, what Devontae Smith has not had a good year. Uh, Receiver 39. AJ Brown, you think he's above or below that?
Um, I would say he's above that. He had that big one spike game.
Receiver 46.
Jeez.
Man,
So he's had the one big game and that's it, huh?
that's it, dude. I you do you trade low or do you buy low for AJ Brown? Like, do you send some trash to try to see if he has an upside?
It's such a tough thing. He's so talented, but I don't I don't know what's going on. He had 9 targets this game,
Yeah, it's not
and
like he didn't get the ball.
he's going to complain his way into getting the targets. I don't really understand why we're not seeing the results. I this might be a little bit bold, but I would probably, if I got offered, I'd probably trade AJ Brown for Quentin Johnston and not think another word about it. The dude's been balling, and I don't know. AJ Brown's just so volatile. You just never know what you're getting on a week to week basis.
Yeah, they're a heavy run team, and personally, I don't think Jalen Hurts is that great of a thrower. So they don't do that as much. But I mean, they did throw the ball 24 times.
He only had 130 yards.
Drake May did better with 14 passes compared to Jalen Hurts 15. Put that in perspective.
I mean, their second half,
Yeah,
so it's third quarter, punt, 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 touchdown, which was only 25 yards due to the bad pick that Baker threw, and then punt, 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 safety. It's just it was a terrible second half for them. It's so weird. You had the season a couple seasons ago where they started like 11-0, and then they ended the season losing like 6 out of 7 games.
it was
It's
awful.
just yeah, it's a weird team. I would be slightly nervous. They're winning right now, but it doesn't necessarily look great. So even Saquon really hasn't looked that good. The only reason he scored this game is due to the fake tush push, which don't even get me started on. I despise it.
They're
But
trying to get rid of it. I believe still.
no, this is definitely the last year for it, so they're trying to utilize it as much as they can. But they're still fall starting on every single one. But yeah, the Eagles are kind of a weird team.
I'm not a believer. Which in turn I'm probably not going to take AJ Brown. I just probably won't.
It's
Won't take
hard.
it.
It's hard to say that though when they're 4-0. That's the weird part about, and they've played good competition. They beat
Yeah,
the Rams. They beat the Chiefs. They beat the Buccaneers. It's been so odd.
that is true. You're starting to convince me. You're starting to convince me, man. I don't know, man.
No, he's going to have these big spike weeks like he had, and then
Yeah,
he's going to have a game like this where he has one catch for 7 yards. It's just it's hard to predict. I don't think there's going to be any kind of production where you can trust him on a week to week basis. Just put him in your lineup and not think about it. I think it's going to be a struggle for him.
just pray.
Yeah,
Just pray for AJ Brown.
that's all you can do sometimes.
For real, dude. All right, we'll talk about 2 more games, and I know you've got some stuff cooked up for us. So excited to see that. Seahawks Cardinals. The Seahawks are 3-1. How insane is that? Their defense has
It's
been pretty
legit.
legit. I think it's number 2 right now. Let me see. Number 3 defense overall. Just gonna throw that out there. Kind of crazy.
They're playing good.
Another quick just kind of freebie there. Spencer Schrader. You know who that is, Matt?
The kicker, isn't it?
Yeah, for in the Indianapolis Colts. Listen, go pick this guy up and play him. Number one kicker in the league. They've been awesome. Just that's just a freebie. We don't talk about kickers, but kickers are they're vital in winning fantasy games. I'll be real. He's a rookie. He's had 16, 18, 10, and 10. So
It's pretty easy when all you're kicking is extra points. I I know he's mixed in some field goals. He looks good.
no, he's had a
I saw you pick him up, and it kind of frustrated me because you're always quicker than I am. But yeah, I think he's going to be a stud.
he has had last game he had a 50 plus. In two other games he's had between 40 and 49 yards. So I mean he can kick that thing as a first year. Only had 1 year experience, so that's just a little freebie there. Some deep ball knowledge.
I
Uh,
like it. I like it.
Want to throw it out there. But back to Seahawks Cardinals. The Cardinals in the first half of this game, I was like, man, they're dookie. I was so mad
Dude,
because Trey McBride.
Marvin Harrison, dude, he looked like he didn't even want to be on that field, and I don't blame him. The
No,
start of that game was he was basically the cause for an interception on
yeah,
the first interception. I'll say he just stopped running his route for some reason, and then the second interception he just bobbled it right into a defender's hands,
yeah.
and it was a tough first half. It really was.
Marvin Harrison is just frustrating. I think because of the hype that they gave this guy, he's receiver 27. I mean, it's like,
The
what can you
tough
do?
part is I don't think it's a talent issue. I think
Yeah,
it's all mental. He's just
yeah.
struggling with
Yips.
the confidence. I really think it's just confidence. Hopefully that touchdown catch he had was amazing. So
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that he kind of continues that into these next couple games.
I mean, he's the besides Trey McBride,
He's all they
he's the
got.
guy. He's the guy. You know, and Trey McBride really. This is annoying. He's not a touchdown target. He should be. I mean, he is. He is right. But like, he's your in the middle of the field. I'm gonna give him the ball, pass it to him as much as I can. He's gonna get yards. So it's got to go to somebody else. So
Yeah, I
he's gonna.
mean, Trey McBride had one receiving touchdown last year. I don't think that's really what his role is in this offense.
Yeah.
So it would be amazing if we can get Harrison to kind of link up with Murray. It would help so many managers that picked him in this year's draft. And
Oh
I'm
yeah.
talking about that from personal experience. I would very much like it if this continues.
You're like, please. No,
Yeah, because I kept him on the bench this week, and it was looking like that was the right decision. And then at the end of the game, he makes that amazing touchdown catch. So I'm really hoping that I can start him next week and just it be stress free. He catches his balls. That would just be amazing.
him and AJ Brown. Imagine what a stress of a week that
Yeah,
would be,
if you got that combo, dude, you
yeah,
add Lad McConkey on that, you're in a season
dude.
from from hell.
I saw something where in redraft it could have lined up that you drafted Tyreek, Neighbors, Joe Burrow, and James Conner,
Oh
and I
my.
was like, I honestly, if that was my team, I'd be on watch. Somebody'd
Dude,
have to call me.
we've all had seasons like that where it's just everything goes wrong, and
Yeah,
it's not fun. But that's why the waiver wire is so important. That's why we just say it repetition. It's such an important part of fantasy football.
exactly. But Seahawks, throw this out there, Mister Charbonnet. There's split a little bit of a split there. Kind of glad to see that. I think he just came back this game.
Yeah,
Uh, didn't play last week. But Kenneth Bonewalker still getting 19 carries. I mean, this team's pretty solid, other than Mr. Cup, which he had one good game this year so far, right? Let me see.
yeah, pretty
I think it was
much.
last week.
I think he's definitely going to be one that you're kind of scared to start.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, he can definitely be a spot start, and he might have a little bit better of a game, but he's definitely just there to move the sticks on third down, and he's a trusted receiver, so he'll do okay, but he's not gonna win you a week. I'll put it like that. And Kenbone Walker, he's such a good player, and he'll rip off a 20-yard run, and then he'll have a run for -6 yards. He he just won't go down, and he runs back, and then he gets tackled for a loss. He's got to cut that out of his game.
He just wants those extra yards.
He,
He
I
wants
mean,
those extra yards.
he's so talented, but he just needs to know when to go down sometimes.
Him and Jackson Dart, dude. I'm telling you. Literally, I saw first game playing. He's being evaluated for a concussion.
Yeah, Jackson's gonna have to rein in that. He was trying to bulldoze people.
Dude,
I don't necessarily think that's his style of play. He should not be
no,
doing that,
he was
especially in the
trying to
NFL.
run them boys over. All
Leave that
right,
to Cam Scadaboo.
no, for real. Which that's a whole nother. That man, the creatine Caucasians, but love them, love it. Last game we'll touch on. Obviously, there's a lot of other games we could talk about. I mean, throw the Colts out there. Mr. Michael Pittman Jr. Love to see it. Had another good game, and then obviously Puka Nakua in that game as well. And then Chicago Raiders. Caleb Williams sucks. Ashton Jitty had a great game.
Caleb did
Uh,
not. He did not play bad.
it's fantasy wise, it was just like really, bro. But I don't know. I don't know, man. Hate to see it. He didn't play bad though. You're right. Roman Dunze, big year. But I wanted to allow you to talk a little bit about the Chiefs, the Ravens before
Come
we
on,
jump off here. And like before we jump to that though, Drake London, big game, good to see. Kyle Pitts, big game, good to see as well.
yeah,
On the up,
Penix played well.
yeah,
It was good to see him come back from that terrible. He got benched last week. I think
yep,
that's kind of forgotten. It was good to see him play well.
that was an upside. So he is back. We kind of were worried, so that's good to see. But tell us about your Chiefs, Matt. Tell us
Well,
about them.
well, well. It's like we never left. It's so it's so weird. Lamar Jackson so far this season had 0 turnovers. He was lighting every team he played, just lighting them up. He hadn't had any turnovers. This game, he threw a pick. Just not a normal Lamar Jackson play. And then he fumbled into his own guy as well. So those 2 turnovers were pretty rough. We were just we were lighting their offensive line up. We brought pressure. It seemed like half of the game. We were in his backfield the whole time. It seems like when they play us, they just forget that they have Derrick Henry on this team. The first drive, he lit us up. His first carry was for 20 yards, and they scored easily on that first drive. He had 8 carries the whole game. I don't know what the issue is on
Yeah,
why they just sometimes will not utilize him the way they should. But I think with Lamar going out for the next 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to see a lot of Derrick Henry, and that could be good for fantasy. But we saw him with the Titans when they were a pretty bad team, and he wasn't really very good for fantasy just because they were never ahead, so they were always throwing the ball. And with as bad as this defense is and Cooper Rush at quarterback, they could be behind in a lot of these games. And I believe next week they're playing the Houston Texans, who have a fantastic defense. So
yep,
that's something I'd be concerned about for Zay Flowers, for Mark Andrews, which Mark Andrews has quietly just come back on the scene somehow. He had
yeah,
7 catches this game. It only turned into 30 yards, but 8 targets, 7 catches. If you're in a PPR league, that's worth it right there.
huge.
So now to my Chiefs. The running backs, like we've talked about, were nothing special. Isaiah Pacheco, 7 carries, 35 yards. He did have a receiving touchdown, which was nice to see, but he
Yeah,
also had a terrible drop. So I think we're going to see Brashard Smith utilized a lot more in the receiving game. This game, he had 4 targets, 3 catches for 27 yards. If he can be utilized more in the passing game, especially in the red zone, I would be kind of looking to stash him,
yeah,
especially if you're in a dynasty league. I looked in our league, and he's not even on the top 10 as far as available players. So if you have an open spot and you need an insurance back, I think he's definitely a guy you should pick up. But the real player of this game, Xavier Worthy coming back was huge. Two
yeah.
carries, he got 38 yards on those 2 carries. Then on top of that, he had 5 catches for 83 yards. He's just I think people forgot how good of an end of the year he had last year. In that Super Bowl game, I know we got smashed, but he had 200 or I mean he had over 100 receiving yards as well as 2 touchdowns. he really is a special player. And when you mix Rice back into this offense as well, it's going to be the number 2 receiver, maybe 3 if they're guarding Kelsey tight. So I think Xavier could have a big season. He didn't really look hampered by the shoulder injury. He definitely was looking to avoid contact, but he's so fast that's not an issue for him. And then the big guy, the one leading our team, Patrick Mahomes, threw for 270, 4 touchdowns. If he's going to play like this, I think he'll probably be a top 5 quarterback at the end of the year. So he's definitely a guy that you could possibly trade for on the low. People have been pretty low on him these past couple of years as far as fantasy goes. So if you could add him, I think that would be really good. If you could maybe trade Caleb Williams. I know you're just crap talking him, but he's had a good start of the season for fantasy.
Yes, yes.
If you could make that trade, I would. If you could trade Bo Nix for him, I would. There's just I don't think there's this caliber of player. I think people forget how good he was for fantasy when the Chiefs have a good offense.
Yeah, like
And
3 years ago.
yeah, from basically 2017 to 2022, he was a top 5 quarterback every single year.
Yep.
So if this is going to continue, I would look to add him because he can single-handedly win you a week if he's going to be throwing this amount of yardage, this amount of touchdowns, and then you
And
add on
running.
that, yeah, his rushing ability this year has come out early. So I don't know. I know I'm a homer, but that's a guy I would definitely be looking to trade for if you can. Especially if like I have Bo Nix in a redraft league. I have the utmost confidence in Patrick Mahomes compared to Bo Nix. He's kind of struggled. He played pretty good this past week, but I would trust Patrick leading the team way more than Bo Nix.
Yeah. And it was against the Cincinnati Bengals defense. So it's like, brother, come on.
Yeah, he has not looked amazing as far as passing the ball goes this year. I know you called him out correct last year, but I
Yeah.
think defenses might have figured him out a little bit more this year. So I'm definitely a little concerned having Bo Nix, but I think you could trade for some of these other guys pretty cheaply.
Yeah. And what number in terms of rank do you think Mr. Patrick Mahomes is in quarterback?
He's probably like I think he's been top 3 or top 10 3 times this year. I would say he's like eighth.
He's the number 3 quarterback
Dang,
currently.
come on. See,
So
I was trying to underestimate. I didn't want to look like a homer, but
it's. I mean, you're not wrong in saying that if he's going to keep this production up without Rasheed Rice, I mean, throw that weapon in there. And if he's going to continue to run the ball, I mean, he was quarterback 6, quarterback 20, quarterback 3. So
yeah, and
massive.
that quarterback 21, we got up on the Giants pretty early, so we kind of went conservative the rest of the game. So I don't know, man. I'm pretty high on him, and like you said, you add Rice to this offense. I think it could be 2 to 4 touchdowns every single week. So I would be looking to go after him.
100%. Well, Mr. Matt, I'm going to throw it back to you. I know you got some hot stuff for us today.
Yeah.
What you got?
So last week we kind of did the start sit trade with the receivers. This week we're just going to do who would you rather have, and the guy that you're deciding if you'd rather keep is going to be Jamar Chase. And just so you know where he ranks this season, he's 18th overall as far as receivers go. So I'm going to throw out 4 names or so here, and I'd like to hear who you would rather have rest of the season. All right.
Okay.
All right. So for the first one, I'm gonna. It doesn't sound like a lob, but it should be. Um, the first name is Quentin Johnston. Who would you rather have, him or Jamar Chase?
Rest of the year.
Rest of the year.
That's disgusting.
Do you want to know where Quentin ranks overall this year?
He's like top 3.
Yeah, so he's third this year in points.
Joe Burrow's not coming back, pretty much.
Nope, you got Jake Browning.
If they don't make a change at quarterback, if they do not make a change at quarterback, I'm taking Quentin Johnson over Jamar Chase for the rest of the year.
It sounds crazy, but
That's stupid.
I full heartedly agree with you here. Yeah, I mean
I,
he's going to get a touchdown. It seems he's had a touchdown 3 of the 4 games. The
Yeah.
first week against the Chiefs, he had 2 touchdowns. It seems like he's bound to hit one of these deep throws every single game. So I fully agree with you.
It's crazy to say, but yeah, Quentin Johnson over Jamar Chase. If they don't make a quarterback change for the rest of the year, 100%.
It's
Man,
crazy, but I agree with you. All right, this next one, I think he's pretty close to your heart. It's Michael Pittman.
love him. Okay.
He's ranked 13th overall for this season so far.
Over Jamar Chase again.
Yeah, Jamar Chase is ranked 18th. Yeah, you're picking between the two.
Okay. Uh, it's crazy, but again, you got to go Michael Pittman Jr. He has also at least had a touchdown in every game, and if Mister Indiana Jones can continue this production and just continue to scoring, I mean, he is the guy there. Also, Tyler Warren, throw him out there real quick. Little had a great game this last week. But yeah, Michael Pittman over Jamar Chase rest of the
See,
year.
I think that one's kind of a hot take because
Yeah,
Jamar is going to have a game here and there where he just breaks a tackle and he
yeah.
has an 80-yard touchdown. So I'm not disagreeing with you, but it's definitely one that you're going to sit there and think about.
I
All
mean,
right, go ahead.
yeah. No, he's been receiver 76, receiver 3, but it was against Jacksonville with 16 targets,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's like that's huge production, but then receiver 41, receiver 53. And I mean, they don't have the easiest schedule. So if they don't make quarterback change, they couldn't even complete a drive against Denver.
Yeah.
They couldn't
Yeah.
even, like, it was sack, sack, sack. It was crazy.
In their defense, they have played a very hard schedule so far. But
Right.
like you were saying, their next 2 games, Lions and Packers, it's not necessarily getting easier. So,
And then Pittsburgh, and then the Jets,
yeah, it
and
really
then
doesn't get
Chicago.
much easier. Yeah. Okay, this next one, I think it's going to surprise you where he's at overall this season. When I throw his name out there, you're gonna think in your head Jamar Chase, obviously, but then I'll
Okay.
tell you where he's at so far this season. The name is Debo Samuel. If you had to guess where he's ranked so far this season in points, where would you guess?
So I keep up pretty well with the Commanders just 'cause I like Jaden Daniels. He's up there. He's had a lot of
He's
great games, and Terry
he's
McLaurin has
when
been
I
out.
looked I was my jaw dropped. I did
I,
not know.
top 10 probably, I would say, in terms of stats. I,
Yep.
maybe.
He is ranked exactly 10th.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, he had a 20-point game this last week with Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
Uh,
Debo definitely he offers that injury risk. So that's why I didn't know exactly where he'd go on this one, but he offers the rushing ability as well. He's a
yeah,
huge yak guy. Jaden Daniels is coming back. So this could go either way on this one.
this is gonna sound. I maybe just Jamar. Maybe I'm out on Jamar Chase. Period. But I'm gonna give you my reasoning why I would take Debo Samuel rest of the year. Number one, if Scary Terry continues to get hurt or he's out longer term, okay, because we've even seen with Marcus Mariota, Debo has played well. I'm even gonna add this to the mix. Bob is not who we thought he would be so far,
What a disappointment.
right?
He had potential to be a top tier, just name wise. He was a top tier fantasy option. And
Bust.
it's gone to crap.
It's been awful. And so even if adding in Debo Samuel as a Swiss Army knife, he's going to run in the backfield some, I'm sure. I mean, he's
Mhm.
gotten carries. So to me, just on utilization, if Scary Terry's out with a decent team and like he could be a focal point, again, if they don't make a quarterback change, I'm telling you, Debo Samuel over Jamar Chase for the rest of the year. Mark it down.
All right, go ahead and put that as a YouTube short because you're going to get roasted for that one probably. But
Yeah,
I agree with you. I really do. The
check the
the cap
stats. You know what I mean?
the the caption on that one is going to be rough, but I agree with you.
Debo
Okay.
Samuel over Jamar Chase rest of the year.
Yeah. And then the last name, this is kind of predicated on how good of a game he just had, but I
Okay.
think it's going to be a pretty easy choice for you here. The name is George Pickens. This last game, he played really well. He is overall ranked sixth this year in fantasy points,
Really? That's
which
interesting.
I was very surprised by. I didn't really think he was doing that well.
I I'm gonna man. I can't. I feel like I can't do Jamar Chase this dirty. I feel like this is the point where it's all right. Jamar Chase, end of year, barring Jake Browning's the quarterback rest of the year. I gotta go Jamar Chase over George Pickens, especially with the fact that if CeeDee Lamb comes back, he comes back to a receiver too. And it's only been what 2 weeks. CeeDee Lamb's been out, and in those 2 weeks, George Pickens has kind of risen up because he is the guy. So with that being a piece of the puzzle, Jamar Chase in the year over George Pickens. Obviously, barring injury, but man, they got to make a quarterback change at Cincinnati.
You
They've got
know,
to.
that one definitely surprises me by your answer. I thought that was going to be a layup for
I,
George Pickens.
I know he's a dog, old number one at Georgia, but I just with CeeDee Lamb possibly coming back next 2 weeks or so, rest of the year I got to go Jamar Chase because he is the number one guy. You know what I'm saying?
So I'll read you his stats. So week one he struggled. It was against Philly. He only had 6 points. The next game against the Giants he had 17, almost 18 points. The next game he had Chicago, which that is the game that CD got hurt in. He had 18 points in that game as well. And then this past game he had 33 points.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's on 9 targets, 11 targets. So I don't hate it because with CD back, he's going to be getting a lot of attention. Jake Ferguson's has got a lot of targets so far this year. Javonte has played good. So it could be that Pickens is just kind of a wide receiver too in this offense when with CD back, and then Jamar will have those spike weeks where he'll win you a week on his own. So
Yeah.
I don't hate it, but I definitely think I would probably lean towards the Pickens side. But he it's tough to say because he's a guy that could just blow up. His temperament is it's very weird. He gets mad so easy. So
Love him.
it's hard to bet on him, but so far, I mean, I was very surprised that he's sixth overall for wide receivers. I
That is
did
insane.
not I knew the last game was good, but I did not realize that he had such good games the following 2 weeks.
He's just a dog. He's just a
He
dog.
he is good. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. Jamar Chase has such name value that it
Yeah.
seems crazy to even think about trading him in some leagues or starting other people. But that's how you'll lose fantasy matchups as you get caught up on name value
Yeah.
and you think this player should be doing great, but it's not happening for Jamar so far this season.
No, I mean, if you stuck with name value alone, I'd have a team with like DeAndre Hopkins and Juju Smith-Schuster and Stephon Diggs, and I'd be in
Dude,
trouble.
do
You know,
not disgrace Juju's name, dude. That guy's a Chiefs legend.
ridiculous.
He did have a
Yeah,
touchdown this week.
he did. So did Tyquan Thornton.
Dude, Thornton low key, he only had one catch, but it was for a touchdown.
Yeah,
That dude's a stud.
he's had touchdown. I think almost every game as well.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a downtick with Rice and Worthy coming back. We honestly went from a position having no one to almost having too many mouths to feed now. We'll have Rice, Worthy, Thornton, add Kelsey into that mix. Dude, it's going to be even Hollywood Brown. He kind of
Yeah,
gets forgotten. He's a
he's
decent
a
player.
dog,
Dude, we're going to have a nasty offense here coming up.
especially if you trade for Alvin Kamara. Be looking.
I'm just saying we're putting the league on notice. Here comes the old Chiefs.
Who do you guys play next week?
We play Jacksonville,
Okay, that's a win. Well,
and I think it's a win as well. Jacksonville actually has a pretty solid defense, so
they do.
we'll definitely this will be a good gauge on where the offense actually is. I don't think it's going to be 37 points, but if it's in the 24 to 30 point range, I think that's a huge success from where this offense has been the past couple of years.
Oh yeah. So we'll see. Jacksonville wins. We'll see your temperament next week. Tuesday, 9 p.m. We're late night owls. What can we say? That's what we do. But what a great pod. It's been a pleasure, Mr. Matt McDonald.
Been a pleasure.
Been a pleasure. Gotta love it. Takeology. We're here for you. We're in the lab so you can do the cooking. You know what I mean? But we will be back here again this next week. Hope you have a blessed week. Go Bulldogs.
Go
And
Chiefs.
hogs suck. You know?
Check out the YouTube.